My name is Clinton the Genius, and today we are going to be taking the next tutorial, that's tutorial 10, and this will be creating a bar plot. Another name for a bar plot is a bar chart or a bar graph, and it's used to present categorical data with rectangular bars along with corresponding heights that is proportional to the values they represent. Let's take, for instance, the students in a class have different scores. Student 1 has a score of 90, student 2 have a score of 80, student 3 have a score of 20. So you can actually plot these students and their scores in a bar chart. So each of the height of each of the bar represents the score of a student. So immediately, using a bar chart, you can see the student that has the highest score or the student that has the lowest score, and also see students that have scores about average. So that's what a bar chart is all about, and let's now see how we can create it. In this case, we have numbers representing the precipitation for each month of the year, January to December, and precipitation for each month. So these precipitation lists will correspond to the number of months specified, and here we specify months as a range of 1 to 13, meaning 12 months. Now, as precipitation also should have number equivalent to 12 values specified, and now we simply plot months against precipitation. I'm going to just copy it and paste it instead of having to type it out myself. So in this way, we'll be able to save some time. Alright, so this is what we have. We have months 1 to 12. The reason is because when we are creating a list in Python, we don't include the last item. So we have 1 to 12. And then we have precipitation, have 12 items. So it means 88.8 corresponds to January. 118.8 corresponds to February, and so on and so forth. So this is how to do it. In this case, we are using plt.bar. Can you remember all the functions you've learned? You've learned about plot, right? You've learned about scatter, you've learned about haste, and now you've learned about bar. So now we're also going to specify some parameters. For instance, sticks is talking about the months specified in the x-axis. That is x ticks, y ticks. You have 0 to 300 in steps of 50. So you have 0, 50, 100, 150 in steps of 50. So we have the grid alpha 0.9. Line style is a dashed line, and then title, y label, and x label. So I'm going to just copy it and paste it, and then we run it to see what we have there. So now I have the edge color to be red. Now I would also like to specify the color to be green. Edge color is red, so the color can be blue, no problem, blue. So the title is here, the X level and the Y level. I'm going to just run it. You can see it runs perfectly. How do we shut down the grid line? So let's say plt.grid. I think false. Right? plt.grid is false. Yeah, I think that's it. So it says passing is deprecated. Use actual Boolean values true or false instead. So let me see. Okay, so he's happy with this, so you don't have to put it in quotes. So this is how to create a bar chart. I would also like to recommend you play around with changing up things a bit to see how this bar chart is going to respond to changes. And at this point, I'm going to stop here. Please, if you miss out something, please go back to the page, the web page, and then go through it. So this is part 1. You can go back to part 1. And this is part 2 that we are already working on. So I'm going to stop here in tutorial 10. I've actually covered a whole lot of basic plotting in Python using Matplotlib and other libraries. And later on, I'm going to be going into advanced plotting in Python, where we are going to be doing some actually tough analysis, maybe plotting a script plot and maybe scores and loadings graph for principal component analysis. And this is what I'm going to be starting a little later. Well, I would like to thank you for viewing. I would like to thank you for being there. I'd like to mention that you need to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed, and also leave me a comment to let me know if this has been informative for you. If there are any particular topics you would like me to treat, please let me also know in the comments box below. I remain Kindson the Genius, and we see you in the next lessons.